Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. We're back with Tessa. She's looking pretty fantastic, I think. And we're going to move on with, I started a little baby scratch. It's a little smeared, but now each step I'm going to add to it. I'd already stopped the video and then I remembered I wanted to give her a baby scratch, and in order to show it to you, I'd have to start the video back and just make a baby scratch, because I did it right after I did her layer of 05, and I was afraid if I didn't go on and do it then, it wouldn't be early enough in the game to get anything done. Anyway, we're going to move on. She looks dark enough to me. This is the most darkening layer that we put on her, is the warm blush anyway. And so we're going to move on to that in the interest of not taking forever to make a doll. This is day 2, so I'm already taking forever. Let me get me a brush up here if I can reach it. Here we go. Now I'm going to look for some sponges. Oh, this is a crappy way to keep your sponges. Where's the one I put it on with? Did I throw it out already? I don't know. I just don't know. Huh. There it is. Okay, now do I have a cleaner one? Yeah, there it is. Okay. All right, we're ready. We're going to put one coat of this on, and then we're going to touch up our scratch. I was using that leftover stuff I used the last time for the scratch. Believe it or not, it's not dry. And so I dabbed it on. Okay, Tessa, here we go. We're going to put some on your eyes, all across her and around her nose, and even up her nose. I want to make sure every color goes inside that nose. In her ears, around her ears. All this, and then we'll start pouncing her with the sponge. The sponge puts the best finish because it makes it look more like, I don't know, little pores in your skin, kind of. I don't know how to describe it. It's a smoother, nicer finish. The brush leaves sort of a brush mark, and back when I first heard about the kabukis and they became all the rage, everybody was just brushing the paint on with a paintbrush and kabuki in it. Instead of dabbing it with a dabbing sponge, they were kabuki in it. And I thought, okay, well, I'll try that. And sponges were kind of hard to get at that time. Nobody had them. And so, okay, I'll do that. And so I started doing it, but then later, about 3 steps in, you'd start noticing you could see brush marks on your doll. It's never good to use brushes. And not only that, the kabuki slips a lot and will make a slide mark kind of on the doll's head or leg or whatever. And we don't want that either. We want the best, cleanest, nicest finish we can get. And we get that by using sponges. Okay, now we're going to use this one. I can see her sealer has some swishy marks on it. I think I was using this brush here to put the sealer on back then when she got sealed. And it slips around too. But the sealer's on her head's not going to matter because she's going to get hair. But if it was on her face or something, you need to do something about it. I have ever put more than 1 coat of this on, but it's not something I do on any kind of a regular basis. The doll would have to be super pale before I'd put a 2nd coat on, because believe it or not, this is a very darkening coat. You'll start to see a big difference in her skin color and her rim with this coat. And we're going to come back to her in a few minutes and see if she needs additional dabbing. lips look fantastic, I think. I've got to get a drink of my drink. My mouth gets so dry from that medicine I'm taking. Hands are a little wet from the condensation on the bottle. Watch those toes. You don't want anything building up in the toe area. That's why we use this little magic brush, and we go over it to make sure. We really use very, very little paint. When you consider that only a tiny bit of paint goes in there compared to the paint thinner and the other things we put in there, like Exodus oil or thinning medium or whatever you put in. And then we use the brush and we get some of it off of the brush, and then we put it on the sponge, and then we sponge it on the doll, and then we sponge a lot of it back off. So really and truly, we're not really putting that much paint on our doll. The paint is very thin. It's supposed to be that way. The thinner the paint, I'm not talking about the weaker the color. I'm talking about the thinner you put it on the doll. You know, you don't put on gobs and gobs of it. The more translucent and real it looks, and the more layers, the different colors and stuff will start to give the baby some realism. What I call realism anyway. Okay, we're going to come back to that. Well, one of these days, I've been thinking about it. Let's put it that way. I haven't made my mind up yet, but I've been thinking about trying to make another ethnic baby. I'm just no good at it. I need to take some ethnic tutorials. I know that they put all different colors, like purple on them and stuff. Whole layers of purple all over them. But I'm no good at it. I don't know how much of it to put or anything. So, you know, it just doesn't pan out well for me. I get the wrong color, then I get frustrated, then I try to fix it, then it gets worse. And I'd love to be able to make me some little ethnic babies. They'd be so cute. I like to make all different kinds of dolls, and that's one I can't make. I don't know how many kits it'd take me to figure it out, but I can't really afford to use that many kits to try to figure it out. So I've given up. If I had a tutorial where they said, mix the paint exactly like this, put it on this many times, bake this at these times, you know, just some exact instructions, I might could follow it and I might could make one. I'd love to make one, but yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I've been ordering lots more kits because my dolls have been flying off the shelf. Selling 4 and 5 a day sometimes. Not every day. Some days I don't sell any. And then I'll sell 3 to one person and 2 to another person. And I have a lot of repeat customers, so they're watching when I post a new doll. And I don't auction. I just put a buy now price, and whoever gets it first, well, that's who gets it. I have on very, very seldom occasions held a doll for someone. And it's only because they bought so many dolls from me that I actually trust them. Because most people who ask you to hold a doll, you never hear from them again. My advice to people is this. I'm not saying don't ever have a sale on your dolls or don't ever go down, but don't make it a practice to go down, because when people get the idea that you'll go down, they'll never buy your dolls at your asking price. They go, oh, she goes down, all I have to do is wait until she goes down. And you get frustrated, you want a cash flow, and you go down. So start out the way you want your business to be. Ask for what you want for it. I'm not even going to look at that. I know what it is. Ask for what you want from it to begin with, so you don't need to go down. You know, some people say, oh, I'm going to ask more and that way I can go down. No, it's not a good idea. Because like I said, it doesn't make any difference what price you put on your doll. They want you to go down. When my dolls were $300, they wanted me to go down. When they were $200, they wanted me to go down. When they were $100, they wanted me to go down. I have some dolls that are $50, and people are still asking me to go down. How much lower do they think you should go? After a while, it's not even worth fooling with. And especially after you pay your eBay fees and stuff. And they just, I don't know. They don't care about your plight. They just want a cheap doll. You can throw out a whole bunch of bargain babies in just no time at all, and probably you can sell a bunch of them. You know, buy the cheapest kits that Bountiful Baby has when they're $19.99 or something, and then just basic paint them and don't worry about a lot of enhancements, or you could use them to practice your enhancement skills, and then just sell them for a bargain because they were only $19. And make sure you get bargain bodies too. I try to buy all my stuff when it's on sale, like magnets. I'll get 50, and because they're on sale. And the little stockings you put the glass in, same thing, on sale. I'm not paying $1.99 for them when they're going to go on sale one day for 99 cents, and that's for 2. So, and that's about as cheap as you can get them anywhere. But these are nicer than most of them you get. They're thicker and they hold that glass in better. And I don't know, I like them. Okay, we're going to go over her again and make sure she doesn't need any more pouncing. And then we're going to work on her scratch and possibly her nails. Her nails are kind of wimpy looking. Her lips look real good. But her nails, I don't know, something about the nails. It's just so hard to do nails. It looks good. She looks real, real, real good to me. I'll put her right back down. And I think this is the next one I worked on. I'm not sure. I forget what order I did them in because I just lay them down willy-nilly. See, all the, nearly every single bit of the creasing that I did is gone. It's either covered over, washed away, something. I don't know. I can still see the little dimples because, you know, you paint them kind of thicker and darker, and but I can still see her. I can still see her veins that I put on her. They're not super dark, but they're not supposed to be. They look just like they're under the skin, like they're supposed to be. Not getting much off, so she must be pretty good. There we go. I'm definitely not putting another layer of this on her, so I'm going to put this up because we're going to work on her little baby scratch. And then we'll go right into working on her nails. I still have this stuff I mixed up in this little thing. And guess what? It's still a little bit soft. It's real thick now, though. So there's a better possibility I can get a scratch out of it. So that's what we're going to do. It's very thick. It's like globby, actually, which is okay because this is a scratch. I can feel it, too. I just dotted it on there like it was a dotted line on a piece of paper or something. Like that. And after it bakes, on the next step, I'm going to be putting some redder color over the top of it. Well, I'll blush her, and then after I think the blush is a little bit dry, I'll go back and put some over that part. I can tell it's raised up. It's raised up a little, which is the way a scratch really should be. It shouldn't be completely flat. I'm going to try to go over her nails one more time. This is the time when we do our last enhancements, our last everything. We check them over real good, and we decide what they need. Because when they come out the next time, it's blush time. And other than working on that scratch when blush goes on, I don't really like to do anything else. Now, when she comes out from her bake, we will be coming back to put in her magnet. She doesn't need eyes. She's sleeping. I don't put the eyelashes on until I'm finished with them because, like I said, they get crushed when you're rooting the hair. And I will be trying to do a little bit of creasing on her. Her feet look very waxy, like that other doll that I tried to crease, and I couldn't do it because she's so waxy. It's that paint. This paint just doesn't dry brush as well as the Genesis did. The blue's pretty good, the purple's pretty good, the red is okay if you're doing it light on the face. But look at those feet, oh my goodness. They're just too red. In order to get it down in every little crevice, you've got to just keep pounding it on, and it just gets redder and redder. And then by the time you're all finished, it won't come off. I mean, you'd have to use paint thinner, and then you're back to step one. You don't have any paint on them. later today I'm going to put up a shelf myself. I'm tired of waiting on somebody to put up my shelves. I put up a shelf yesterday in the laundry room. We had it propped up, and so I put the brackets under it and found it was hard. Don't get me wrong, it was hard, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. So I'm up for the challenge to try another one. I'm going to try to put one long shelf in my room for my dolls. And if I'm successful, I'm going to make that video on the baby showcase. I don't know that I'm going to call it that, but a lady had asked me to show some finished dolls. And I haven't done it for a while, but I did do it one or two other times. And it didn't get very many views at all. And it wasn't popular, so I didn't do it again. But anyway, this lady has asked for it, so I'm going to do, I don't know how many. I might just do all the ones I have. Well, I have got a hair stuck on me. I don't like it. Looks like a piece of polyfill fuzz, actually. Even though I do have some white hairs, I don't have any that long. My hair is nubs. Okay, there's that. And now this one. I do want to crease her hands. They are the cutest ever. I was looking at swapping some limbs. I actually made a video of it where I swapped around some limbs so that some of my 3/4 dolls that I ordered from Bountiful Baby could have full limbs. And Tessa has got some of the best limbs there are. And I'd love to give her limbs to another doll, but they're a little chubby for those skinny-headed dolls. See, she's got a chubby face, too. And that makes it seem like they go with her body. And if I did take Tessa's away, what the heck would I give Tessa? I thought about making some cuddle babies out of some of them. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. You know, just make a cuddle head and let people cuddle their own body. I don't want to cuddle them because I hate those cuddle bodies. Okay, that's her lips. Well, I mean, that's her nails and her scratch. Now we're going to get her back in for a bake, and we're going to come back when she's cool, and we're going to see what we need to do to that scratch again. It's looking pretty good, I think. It looks lovely, actually. And I'm just going to do some probably little stripes of just blush on top of it. Because around the scratch should look a little redder because, well, when you get scratched or injured in some kind of way, your skin around the edges looks very red. At least mine always did when I skinned my knee or something. And these are supposed to look like the little scabs. You know, when you get scratched, it looks kind of bumpy. It doesn't always look smooth. So anyway, that's how I did it. So anyway, please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.